This recording was co-produced with parents and carers in our county of Suffolk as an additional resource to support our online session preparing for the transition to secondary school for children with special educational needs, or SEN. If you are unable to join a live session in Suffolk, you may like to watch the webinar recording of our main transition session, which focuses on information to look for to help you and your child prepare for working with school around transition. We explore transition meetings and what the statutory guidance expects to happen for children with SEN. We look at resources to support this process and additional considerations for children with education, health and care plans. This recording will focus on just two key areas which were important to families in co-production: approaches and resources to help your child explore their feelings about high school and lessen initial worries from slide 4, and ideas to empower your child and help build their independence for starting school and managing new routines from slide 24. And we'll begin with approaches and resources to help your child explore and share their feelings about secondary school, and resources which can help lessen any initial worries. Moving up to high school can be daunting for parents and children. It's a time of great change, so mixed feelings are natural. An important role which parents and carers can play is in helping their child share their feelings about moving up to high school. Doing a fun, positive activity together with your child can be a good way to provide a safe space for them to express their feelings without having a big chat or putting pressure on them. It's important to establish a sense of safety and calm through just listening, validating and reassuring. Show them that you are taking them seriously. Be open and curious about their emotions. It's helpful to be quite tentative about suggesting what they're feeling. Asking open questions is better than closed yes or no questions, as this encourages them to reflect and share more information. This slide shows an idea and template for an activity which could help some children to notice how their body is feeling and name any worries or expectations they might have about moving up to high school. It's one of the range of free resources created by Suffolk's inclusion facilitators. These resources include this template, which some families might find helpful to support their child to express their hopes and worries about transition. There are a range of videos which focus on common anxieties about secondary school, which may help your child. Understanding that many others share the same worries can often help children feel less alone and more able to share their own feelings. On screen are a couple of examples. Young Minds has produced a video called Find Your Feet, where different young people talk about common worries and what can help with the move to high school. Hearing other children talk about their experiences and what helped them may encourage your child and help lessen their fears. And the Anna Freud National Centre for Children and Families has created a helpful animation called Moving Up, the Transition to High School. BBC Bite Size has produced a whole series of short videos where children and young people talk about their experience with the transition to high school. You know your child best, so you might like to watch some videos first yourself before bringing one or more to your child's attention. The BBC has also produced a series of videos following a group of children transitioning from primary to secondary school. In our live session, we emphasise the importance of spending time exploring the transition information on the secondary school website well in advance of your child starting there. We would recommend that you look for any frequently asked questions in their transition information. Sometimes these are outlined on web pages or in the form of a video. These can also help lessen your child's worries and uncertainty. Some schools have created their own transition booklets which acknowledge common worries and offer ideas to help. If you can't find resources or frequently asked questions like those that we've looked at on your child's secondary school website, you could share a positive example with the new high school that you found elsewhere, explain why you have found it helpful, and ask if the school has produced anything similar or would consider doing so. Online discussion boards can lessen the worries for some children and young people. Kooth is the UK's leading mental health and wellbeing platform for children and young people, which is supported by our County of Suffolk. Kooth can provide text-based online counselling and a range of support material for young people from the age of 11. All posts are first moderated by trained mental health practitioners, so nothing is immediately live, and contact details of children and young people are blocked. When a child or young person signs up, information is filtered according to their age, so an 11-year-old does not see the same material as an older young person. If you think this might help your child, you could watch their video and find out more yourself first. Here is an idea which might help your child to connect with the new school. They could write a letter to their new form teacher to introduce themselves and begin to build a relationship. The Inclusion Facilitator team has produced this guide, which is included in their range of free resources. Exploring what stays the same and what might be different may help lessen uncertainty about the new school. This resource is available from our SENDIASS transition webpage. In this slide, you can see an idea for an activity which might help some children to think about what could help the things they are worrying about better at school. It's one of the free resources created by Suffolk's Inclusion Facilitators. And they've also produced this resource with ideas which may help your child feel calmer. The Suffolk Inclusion Facilitator team is part of the Psychology and Therapeutic Service in our county, and they have produced this guide to mindfulness, along with this video exploring how to practice mindfulness, which may help your child. If your child has communication difficulties, the free resources on the Therapist Aid website around coping with worries may be particularly helpful. If your child has high anxiety and they are struggling with attending school currently, and you are worried that they may struggle to attend when they make the transition, you may like to explore these resources around emotionally based school avoidance, or EBSA, which have been co-produced with families by the Psychology and Therapeutic Service in Suffolk. They have resources for children and young people to help them identify and express their anxieties and work with school. We're going to spend a bit of time now exploring resources and approaches which can help empower your child to support them to manage new routines and organise themselves and become a bit more independent. Well before your child starts at high school, start re-establishing routines, especially when it comes to sleep and getting up in good time. Visual sequencing cards, like the free cards produced by the online educational publisher Twinkle, which you can see at the bottom of the screen, may help some children with this. We often hear from families that their child has difficulty sleeping and getting into an established pattern. The Psychology and Therapeutic Service in our County of Suffolk has a web page with a number of resources and videos around sleep which you might find helpful. Do practice runs of the journey to school to help your child become familiar with the route, whether it's by foot, car, or following the bus route. Practice some independent skills, like organising equipment and packing a school bag. Visuals may again be helpful here. The online publisher Twinkle has a free packing bag worksheet with the visuals you can see on screen. The transition information on many high school websites explains what equipment is needed for lessons, so you can help your child to practice organising and storing what they need. A task checklist might also help your child prepare. This template is included in the Suffolk Inclusion Facilitator free resources which we referred to earlier, along with this guide for supporting changes to routine which may help some children. It's important to buy the high school uniform in plenty of time, except perhaps shoes. Your child may need time to practice putting the uniform on and using new fastenings. Children with sensory processing or other needs may need time to acclimatise to the feel and weight of the new clothing, like a school blazer. Some children may need adjustments to the uniform to be agreed with high school in advance, so it's important you find out what you can about the uniform well in advance so that any adjustments can be explored and agreed at transition meetings. And it's helpful to look out for any second-hand uniform sales. If your child has school dinners, the experience will likely be very different at high school. Find out if the school uses a cashless catering system. Many high schools also have kiosks where pupils can buy snacks. You could help your child practice choosing and paying for food. If your child isn't used to using a library, it may help to start familiarising them with your local library. Support them to use the computers, scan a card, and learn how to locate books on topics of interest. Find out what activities and clubs are available to help your child get excited about school. Look out for activity clubs over the summer where your child could meet others going to the same high school. When you explore the high school website, look for anything matching what your child enjoys to help build their interest. In the example on screen, Year 8 students at this academy have created a virtual welcome guide. Listening to other pupils talking positively about their school may encourage your child and help them feel less worried. As I mentioned earlier, we would recommend that you thoroughly explore the high school website and transition resources. The School Run website offers some top tips for surviving secondary school for your child to read through. And the Foundation for Learning Disabilities has produced a visual guide for pupils which you may find helpful depending on the needs of your individual child. Transitional objects are things which children can touch and hold to help them feel safe and give some comfort. They are visual and tactile reminders that someone is thinking of them, and they can help some children feel close to that person who can't be with them at school. You might like to have a think about whether it would help your child to have something small and light which they could have in their school bag or pencil case which connects them with you. And remember to focus on the positives. It's really natural to feel nervous about your child's transition to secondary school, but remember that your child can easily pick up on your emotions. So try to be relaxed and positive rather than showing your nerves. They will be looking to you for reassurance. Encourage your child to think about things to look forward to at their school. Clinical psychologist Dr. Pookie Knightsmith produces many videos to support families, and her daughter has produced and shared her own top tips for starting a new class which may resonate with your child. And finally, Suffolk Psychology and Therapeutics Service has worked with families to co-produce a series of 5 top tips. The series also includes this positive self-talk rainbow, which is free to download. This video was made by Suffolk SENDIASS, but every county will have an impartial and confidential SEND information, advice and support service.